Hey everyone, JT from Ebike Escape here, and in today's video, we're going to be doing an unboxing and first look at the all-new Aventon Aventure 2, so let's get into it. Before we jump into the unboxing of the Aventon Aventure 2, I just want to ask everyone, if you are looking to purchase any Aventon e-bike, please consider using the links down in the description. All purchases made through those links help directly support Ebike Escape. Also linked down in the description, we'll have links to our e-bike accessories list, top e-bikes brands page, and our e-bikes discount codes page. All three of those links have very helpful information if you're in the market for an e-bike or any accessory or anything you see in any of our videos. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get the Aventon Aventure 2 out of the box and get our first impressions of it. So to actually open this box, you have these really nice pop-out little plastic clips. And what that's gonna allow you to do, once you pop these out, they're actually nicely numbered for you around the box, is you'll be able to lift this entire top box up and out of the way. Just go ahead and lift. There is our first look at the Aventon Aventure 2. All right, one thing I want to point out right away that I really like that I think I kind of knew was going to be changing on this is that if you notice, there's really no plastic around this bike. It's all cardboard, which is really nice from an environmental standpoint. This side here, and here's our trusty accessories and toolkit, which out of all of the accessories and toolkits we get, Aventons are pretty high end. I will give you guys a close-up look at that when we get to it. All right, well, so a lot of that cardboard and stuff out of the way you can really see. So this is one of the new colors that the Aventure 2 is available in. This is a blue, and if you notice, we went with a step through, and of course, because we have Ryan on the fleet of reviewers here, we've got the large frame. It comes with a higher wattage motor than what we see on some other options out in the market, as well as it comes with a lot of really name brand components that you recognize. One thing I did want to point out that the price on this e-bike is really something that we are super excited about. So if you notice, our model here does not have a rear rack. The Aventure 2, if you order one, will have this really cool rear rack that comes installed on the rear, and that is included in the price of, drumroll, $18.99. So the price for the Aventure 2 is actually going down from what the Aventure 1 was offered at, and I really think that you get some pretty cool options on top of that. You get the inclusion of a rear rack now that you do not have to buy. You get a whole different list of color options. And the other big change that Aventon made with the Aventure 2 is it's going to a torque sensor. Now, we kind of understand that's going to be a mixed bag for most people. Now, Ryan and I here love having the feel of more of a actual bike versus having maybe more ghost pedaling, things like that. We really like that as you amplify the power you're putting in, the bike will amplify it as well. If you're wondering how that rides, we are going to have a full review out of this bike, if not now, very soon. So please, we will put it in the upper right-hand corner and you can watch, and you can see we also rode it next to the Aventure when we were actually out in California riding this bike, because Mother Nature in Wisconsin is not allowing us to ride e-bikes out here without a lot of gear and studded tires. But yeah, we were able to ride this Aventure 2 and the original Aventure, and you could tell the difference. I mean, the motor power is exactly the same, the gearing's the same. A lot of the core components of the Aventure lineup has not changed, but riding, you definitely feel a difference with that torque sensor, and then also having the option of the included rack and things like that should really kind of help sway you towards the Aventure 2. A couple other changes, there's some things we'll get you a close-up of later, or you do have integrated lights on both sides. You have these chainstay that we see on a lot of the Aventon bikes. So it's a really nicely featured bike. Now, you do not need this stand to assemble your electric bike or any bike for that matter. They come with everything you need. It's just nice to be able to not have to do it maybe kind of bent over on the floor. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the cool feature of this where you kind of apply a little pressure and it lifts it right up. All right, here is a closer look at the new Aventure. I've been saying, obviously, you're gonna have to throw the handlebars on here. Here's a look at some of the branding, this nice, beautiful blue paint job. The pedals that you obviously have to install. And then, like I said, missing on our bike is the included rear rack, which is always nice to see. And here's a look at the two rear taillights now, one on each side. And if you notice here down at the bottom, they also have this clear space here. That is actually for the blinkers, which you can control up at the controls. I'll show you guys that real quick once I get the bike assembled. And then here is a closer look at the included accessory kit that comes with your Aventon. Really, this is a pretty standard kit that we see that comes with a lot of the Aventon e-bikes, but the Aventure 2 is no different. It comes with a nice Allen key set here, which is nice that it folds up, comes with everything you need for assembly there, as well as they include the wonderful pedal wrench. Now this has become one of my favorite tools that they include. It just has a nice rubber grip on the bottom, and it's really one that I use all the time on a lot of my bikes, and it's also a pedal wrench, so it has a 15 on one side, 19 on the other, and a 15 for tightening up any of the wheel bolts you might need. And then also included, you have the standard 2.5 amp hour, which is a little bit more than we see on most bikes, but a 2.5 amp hour charger. They include a packet of grease for your pedals and the other screws you put in. And one thing I did want to point out, looking at a lot of this, is typically this replacement derailleur, which is nice to see. We don't see that come with a lot of manufacturers. Sometimes the derailleur, since it hangs off on the side, will get hit in shipping, or if you lay your bike down, you'll have a replacement, but they'll get bent and you'll have some shifting issues. It's nice to see that Aventon includes an extra one, which is not something we've seen on a lot of other bikes that we get. But one thing I also wanted to point out is that typically this derailleur hanger and bolts are wrapped in plastic. And if you notice, besides the pedals here, which I'm assuming is because they are purchased from an outside manufacturer and brought in, there is a noticeable lack of plastic in a lot of this. I mean, the entire packaging lacked plastic. I mean, this is my pile here, and being that I live in the country, I'll actually be able to burn most of this, which is really nice to see. And the only other plastic that we really had in the packaging were the little plastic clips that actually hold the top of the box down. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the pedals out and get those thrown on the bike and get the handlebars on it, and I'll give you guys a closer look at the blinkers and an assembled Aventure 2. And one quick caveat before I get into assembling the Aventon Aventure 2 here is I am not a professional bike mechanic. If you have any hesitation about assembling a bike, please look into taking it to your local bike shop. Most bike shops should be able and willing to assemble this for you. Just tell them, hey, they don't have to really touch any of the electronics, just kind of physical bike assembly, which is pretty standard. But also, if you don't even feel comfortable doing that, or you don't have one near you, you can look into Aventon actually has a network of dealers where they sell and maintain their e-bikes. So you can check that link on their website, and that's a good place for you to be able to see if you can find somebody that'll help you either purchase or assemble one. So, all right, with that out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and throw the front handlebars on, front wheel, and then get it down and give you guys a closer look. While I'm going through this installation, one thing I did want to point out that I know some manufacturers recommend, and it definitely helps you get out riding sooner, is while you're kind of doing this assembly, the first thing you should do is take the battery out and get it on a charge. The keys are located up here on the handlebars. And I don't know if this is just because we have an early model here, but I believe Aventon has actually changed the color of the keys to actually being this bright yellow. There is two keys, I'm leaving the other one hooked up there, but to this bright yellow, which is really cool to see. And then one other quick tip that Aventon did tell us is that there is a number on the key here. I don't want to show that to you, but there's a number right underneath my finger here. That number is specifically keyed to this lock on the bike. So make sure that you know what that number is and write it down somewhere, because Aventon will be able to get you a key cut if in the event that you do lose them. Aventon Aventure battery is probably one of the easiest to take out. All you do is insert the key and twist it towards the rear of the bike, and the battery will actually pop out the side. You remove it. It's got your nice activation button here on the front. And then it also has the charging port here where the battery can be charged on or off the bike. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in the charger so that we can get out riding this thing when summer comes around. So if you saw in the accessory kit, why might Aventon include grease if you wanted to put some on your seat post so it doesn't get seized up? But the other reason they do is so that you can actually put it on the threads of your pedals here so that you install them so they don't bind up when they're kind of going in, so you can get some good torque on them. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw a little bit of grease on here, use the included pedal wrench, get the pedals in, and I'll set it down and we can get a closer look. Now here's a close-up look of the Aventon Aventure 2. This is, again, the blue. There's also 3 other colors, 1 more available for the step through, and then 2 specifically for the high step. And then here is a close look at those rear tail lights on both sides. And we're gonna move up here to the controls, and I'm gonna show you how the blinkers operate. So before you turn on your bike, if your bike does not turn on by simply pushing and holding the power button, what you need to do is actually push this button on the side of the battery, and it'll illuminate a color. This color tells you how much battery percentage is left in the battery, and now you can push and hold the power button and the screen will turn on. All right, and now one thing that is different, and if you're keen and you notice here, is that the power button has moved. It was on one of the sides before, now it is is located in the middle. And then if you notice, the left and right buttons are arrows. And like I said, those correspond to blinkers. So we're gonna push the left one. Notice this blinking on the screen, and then we have blinkers. Again, this is a really cool function that we've seen Aventon add to their e-bike. And again, those rear taillights are a great addition that we're super happy to see on the Aventure 2. And then the other big change on the Aventure 2 is going to be in the pedal sensor. So the Aventure 2 is now being transitioned to a torque sensor, and we think that that might be a consistent change that Aventon's going to apply to a lot of their bikes. And we saw that change on the level 2, which we really enjoyed. We are going to try and get that feeling of a torque sensor across to you guys in our first person riding footage in our full review, which will be in the upper right hand corner. But again, trying to get a feeling of riding an e-bike across in video is very difficult. We're big fans of that sensor feeling, but again, it may not be something you like, but please watch our full review, and we have some specific riding footage in there that should help try and get that across. But other than those changes and the integrated rack, which is missing, which we will put a screen up on, the Aventure 2 is pretty much the same style and design of fat tire e-bike that we really like. So we are super happy to have the Aventon Aventure 2 in our fleet of e-bikes to ride when spring rolls around. Again, thank you Aventon for sending this e-bike out to us. And if you are looking to purchase any Aventon e-bike, please consider using our link down in the description. All purchases made through those links help directly support E-Bike Escape. We'll see you guys in the next one.